Hey everybody, just want to share a quick little insight from my City General Conference this morning. While I was working out at the gym, I was listening to the October 1932 General Conference, and J. Golden Kimball was speaking. And Brother Kimball kind of hit on a couple of different topics, but the one that really stood out to me was he talked about the gift of prophecy, and that he's like, I've always been told I've got the gift of prophecy, but I don't feel like I ever cultivated it. And the reason is because he feared what men would say about him. And he talks about the fact that with the gift of prophecy, we have to be unafraid of man. We need to be able to open our mouths and let it be filled with whatever the Lord will put in there. But too many members were fearing man, and they would open their mouth, they would hear what the Lord would say, and like, nope, not going to say that. And then they would close their mouth. And he gives an example of Heber C. Kimball, and how Heber C. Kimball one time prophesied that the goods in New York would be cheaper to be bought in Salt Lake City than in New York, and that the lands of Salt Lake City would overflow with goods. And he sat down, and people looked at him like, you're nuts. Like, Heber, I don't believe your prophecy. And his response was, I don't believe it either, but it came from the Lord, therefore it's going to happen. And it did. When you had the gold rush in California, a bunch of prospectors brought a lot of stuff over the plains because the plains were gentle. They got to the Rockies like, this is a dumpster fire. And then when they were restocking in Salt Lake City, they sold. They were selling organs. They were like the piano, like musical organs, not like body parts. But they were selling sewing machines. They were sewing cabinets, hutches, all sorts of things that they thought when they were on the East Coast, oh yeah, I'll take this with me to California. And when they realized they got to go up and over the Sierra Nevada, it's like, nope, not anymore. And Salt Lake City, it became cheaper to buy the goods manufactured in New York and Salt Lake than it was to buy it in New York. His prophecy was fulfilled. But J. Golden Kimball points out something that I think is very important, that many members of the church self-censor truth. Many members self-censor this truth because we are afraid of what the world's going to say about us. On Mother's Day, do we stand up and say, motherhood is divine? It is the highest and holiest calling that a woman can perform. Not being in the job market, not being a CEO, not being a millionaire, being a mother is the highest good. And also, the highest good a man can perform is being a father. Not your job, not your career, not your athletic capacity. It's being a father. Do we talk about that? Or are we afraid that we're going to offend people? Oh, well, so-and-so had a bad mom, or they may be infertile, or a lot of valid and also some invalid concerns. Do we self-censor truth? Because when we do self-censor truth, we create an issue where members of the church are no longer taught the truth. You have women growing up in the church who think motherhood is not that big of a deal, that maybe 1 or 2 kids is all that they should have. This is a byproduct of our self-censoring the truth because we are afraid of what man will say. So let us not be afraid of what man will say. Let us not be afraid to offend with truth. Let us lovingly but boldly proclaim that which is of God.